Hey. Tanya Brown. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. Welcome, 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 guys. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Hmm? Happy New Week. Happy New Week. Happy New Week. See, hey, my queen. Good to see you. Tanya, good to see you. Thank you so much. Cornelius, welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. I really do appreciate that. Happy New Week. How was your weekend, guys? Hope it went well. Baby. Let's go, guys. Hope your weekend has been amazing so far. Welcome, welcome. Please kindly thumbs up the stream and share out if you have a community. Let's have more people joining on this discussion. Let's link up, guys. Come in, let's link up. I know feature. If I don't see you, like I know feature if I don't see you, Nana. Like, how do I eat if I don't see you guys? Welcome, Fini Media. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Eh? Yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see your face, yeah. I know feature. If I don't see you, come in, guys. Let's warm up. Man, it's been raining non-stop here. See you. Welcome, guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Let's wait for others to come in before we drive. Before we take a smooth ride into today's topic. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Welcome. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cornelius, for sharing the stream. I appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, it's Monday and it's a beautiful week. Like the week started really, really beautiful. It's been raining non-stop. What I call that a blessing, and I give glory to God because the rainy season, of course, is showers of blessings. So we thank God for it. And we appreciate God for the gift of life. How have you guys been? Tanya, how is Amir, my boy? I hope you two are doing so well and hobby. And the week has started so well for you too. How was work? Cornelius, how is work going over there? Hope you are good. Well, thank you so much, everyone watching me right now. And for those of you who will be rewatching this, replaying this live stream, just know that I appreciate you. Please, I beg you, do not click out without giving me a thumbs up, and then stay put to watch the live stream and drop your opinion in the comment section if you have any. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you. So what are we discussing today? Looks like it is the era of divorce pandemic. Why do I say that? These days, it seems as if celebrities' marriage are bound, like they are bound to crash every Eke market day, like every 3 market days. Every blessed day we wake up is from one terrible news about a marriage crashing to the other. In as much as we are here saying no woman should stay in an abusive marriage, in an unhappy marriage, but it shouldn't be raining divorce left, right, and center without couples trying to make it work, without couples putting their heads together to ensure that that marriage even works. It's one thing for marriages to have issues, and it's another thing for you to want to make it work. But it seems as if these days, the first thing that comes to the mind of a lot of people is just to bolt out the very first minute, which isn't right. No marriage is perfect. No marriage. Like seriously, any marriage you look into, there must be one witness, one issues they are contending with, one issues they are trying to sort out, one problem or the other that they're trying to work on. That is to tell you that so long as two human beings come together, two people from different backgrounds come together, they are bound to have issues. But does that mean we should open the door and bolt the very first minute that we have these issues? No. It means that we have to work, we have to complement ourselves. And the moment couples stop giving, a partner stop giving his or her 100% in marriage, trust me, that marriage will not see the light of the day. It's bound to just die a natural death. What do I mean by that? In marriage, you should give your 100. And your partner is also expected to give his or her own 100%. That is what makes marriage work. 100% and nothing more. And 100 by giving your 100%, it means you know what you want out of marriage, and you are giving that which you want out of marriage. You can't give what you don't have, because marriage entails sacrifice. Marriage entails understanding. In marriage, there must be strong communication, the will to make it work, the desire to see your spouse happy. These are the 100% you have to give. But if you withdraw 10 or 20, something is already lacking in that marriage. And because of this, we have a lot of divorce going on every day. Now, the sad thing is, it's no longer about young couples who are struggling to understand or find their feet or even understand what marriage is all about. It is now even couples who have been in marriages for over 10 good years. You can be in marriage for 10, 20 years, and that doesn't make it a perfect marriage, because there's nothing like a perfect marriage. You can be married for 30 years and be struggling, enduring, be in pain for that period of time, that duration of time. It doesn't mean that you are happily married because of the duration of time you have spent in that marriage. Because many stay in marriage suffering, unhappy for so long that they lose themselves in that eventually. Marriage is when two adults have made up their minds to make it work. Say, I want this to work, and they put in their best to make that marriage work. Welcome, Anishka Daily Dose. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Welcome, the board fights. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anish. I appreciate you. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you can, as content creators, please can you help me share out the stream so we have more people joining in on this discussion, okay? Just know that I appreciate and I love you. Thank you so much. So moving on, why do I say that marriages of even over 10 years are crashing? Last week, I know how many divorce cases I talked about on my live stream. And this week, over the weekend, Ireti Doyle, I don't know if those of you watching me right now know about Ireti and Patrick Doyle. Patrick is a broadcaster, is a seasoned broadcaster. He's a producer, he's a filmmaker, he's a director, and he's an actor. He knows his onion. The guy is well seasoned in the entertainment industry. Same thing goes for the ex-wife right now, Ireti Doyle. Ireti is an actor. She's an actress. She's equally a scriptwriter and a presenter, and doing so well, you know, for herself. She has a TV show. These two people have been together for how many years? 19 good years. And you're expecting that people who have been in marriage for this long would have mastered the art, would have understood themselves, and know that, okay, because they have grown-up children, they just have to find a way to understand themselves better in order to make the marriage work. 19 years is not 19 months. 19 years is not, it's not 9 months. It is a very long time of people coming together. Now, Ireti, of course, we know that they've been having issues for a couple of days now, over a couple of years now, and they got married quite early. They got married young. Ireti got married at the age of what? Very young. Though this isn't her first marriage, because her first marriage, I wouldn't call that marriage. She got pregnant at the age of 19 and had her first child. And then later on went to her institution for that education. And that was when she met Patrick and they got married in 2004. The marriage has been so long. And they have 6 children. Unfortunately, they lost one of the child to sickle cell. These two have been the envy of the industry. When you look at these two grown men and women, you see love on social media. You see people who who you're supposed to look up as role models because of what they portray on social media. They are doing so well in their career. If Ireti is famous right now, Patrick Doyle is a name in the entertainment industry, and he's been doing so well for himself. And then recently they started having issues. 2017 they had issues. 2019 they equally had issues, of which that was when Ireti decided to, move out of their matrimonial home. She separated from him. When she did, they were still married then, and then struggling. It was like they're trying to patch up the whole thing. But unfortunately, the marriage didn't work out. Why? They both know. According to Ireti, she's been trying to endure. She's been trying to, make the marriage work on her own. It looks like a one-sided effort, and which is the reason why he said anything that is not given 100%, don't expect it to work out. When a marriage, when an effort is one-sided, trust me, guys, the other person is going to feel the weight, and the weight is going to make them feel tired. It's just like you holding something up in one hand. The longer you hold it, it may be light at first, but the longer you hold it, the weaker your hands become. And the more you hold it, your hands will eventually become stiff, and then you get that hand down. That is how it is in marriage. Maybe from what we hear from Ireti, she's been trying her best to hold on to that marriage. She's been trying her best to make that marriage work. She's been doing all she can to push so that this marriage will succeed. And 2019, when they celebrated their 15 years anniversary, Patrick Doyle came on social media and wrote something really, really emotional. I'm going to be reading this out here. I'm going to be reading out what Patrick wrote out, and it got to show that Patrick himself knew that the problem is coming from him. He has not been putting in his effort in that marriage. And he realized his weakness as a man, as a husband, as a father, that he hasn't really been giving his family the best of him that is required for the marriage to work out, and which was the reason why the wife moved out. Now, what he wrote here was so emotional and touchy, and I commend him for even at least coming out to own up as a man that he has not really done his best, for his family. Yeah, and okay, let me read out. He said, after the death of Rosamond, which was his first wife, because Patrick was married before now, and the wife passed on. Now, let me even give you guys a little gist about this. When Ireti was in her institution, theater, she was reading theater art. I'm taking you guys back to how this whole thing started. She traveled to Lagos for her IT, industrial action, like, because there in the theater art, she went for, training, I think for 1 year or so in Lagos. And where she was working, where she was posted, where she would be working, Patrick Doyle happens to be the director of play and equally the producer of the play that where Ireti was working. And they met, they became friends. And in the course of that, a romance blossomed, bloomed. And before you say Jack, 1-2 years into the relationship, they became romantic. And that was the same time Rosamond, Patrick Doyle's wife, was sick. They were probably having an affair. Then, when Patrick Doyle's wife was sick, according to what I heard, and eventually she passed on. And as soon as she passed on, Ireti moved in and they got married, with making Ireti the second wife to Patrick Doyle. Now, if you know this guy, you understand what I'm saying. They got married, and then the relationship continued. They had their first child, second, third, fourth, and it was just all was going really, really well for this couple. Now, back to this, Patrick himself wrote something. He said, shortly after the passing of Rosamond, God sent me an angel. Not only did the angel dry my tears and comfort my soul and lift my spirit at the lowest point of my life, but she showered my boys with the highest quality of care that I have ever seen a mother give her children. I have been young and now I am older. I have never seen a woman more loving, caring, and devoted than this lady. She not only ignored the taunting of true friends who queried what she was doing with a broke ass like me. Frankly, if she was my sister, I would have asked her the same question. I have always justified or honored her, And he's saying, yeah, welcome, thank you so much. And he's saying that he has never seen when the wife passed on, Ireti was there for him. Like, she took care of the two children they had, with the ex-wife, and she helped him recover from the loss. If trying, okay, with me through thick and thin. Say, I have always justified or honored her with me through thick and thin. Okay, the answer is, have I always? He asked a question. He said, have I always justified or honored her with me through thick and thin? The answer is a big resounding no. He is admitting to that he has not really treated her well, despite her sticking with him through thick and thin. If anything, I have been most undeserving of the affection of the most uncommon women. Have I taken her love for granted? You bet I have. Why? Because like most men, I have been prone to be a jack. I cannot count how many times she has had to pick up the slack when I have failed. Like, guys, this is lengthy, but what am I trying to read out here is to tell you how much Patrick. Okay, there's a place I want you to say. I want you guys to listen. Okay, he said let me go back a little bit. Lately, have been less than worthy of her affection and was deserving put in the proverbial doghouse as usual when Ireti left. Ireti left, she has the compassion taking me. She has with compassion taking me out of the doghouse and reinstated all my rights and privileges as the Lord and Master of the home. I know that at the back of her mind, she's mentally preparing herself. She left, and that was why he said after some time she took him back and reinstated him back to his position as the Lord and Master, gave him all the love and affection that is deserving of her husband. And yet he alone knows what he has been doing that made Ireti had it up to here and say, enough is enough. I can no longer go on with this. Ireti was broken, though she tried covering it up because she felt, from what she wrote on social media a couple of days ago, she felt like this is her private life and she owes no one any explanation as to why she is leaving the marriage. Recently, she granted an interview, and in that interview, she opened up everything that has been going on with her and why she left. She didn't really totally open up completely, but she granted an interview, giving people an insight as how much effort she has put in this marriage for 19 good years, but Patrick has been taking it for granted. Now, this is where the problem lies. When you have a good woman, you don't take her serious. You don't respect her. You don't give her the honor due to her. What you are doing is you are preparing her for the exit route. You know you have a beautiful wife. You have a good woman, a God-fearing, a woman who gives her best. I know a lot of people still feel that Ireti from her movie, from all she's been acting, that she doesn't seem like the submissive kind of wife. She doesn't seem like the kind of wife that will, bring down herself to honor her husband. Let me read what Canelo say. Okay, someone had disclosed that the movie star had suffered physical and domestic violence as a teen, but the actress was quick to correct the impression that she had her first child at 17. Yes, what happened was people were saying she had her first child at the age of 17. That was too early, and they were criticizing her for that. And she disclaimed that assertion that it was at the age of 19, and that was because something happened, as a teenager, juvenile delinquency and all that. She got pregnant, and they were like, she didn't marry. She was like, she had no business with marriage at that time. Why? Because she was still very young, but she kept the child. She kept the baby. So that was what happened there. It wasn't at the age of 17, but something happened. She got pregnant, got entangled with someone, got pregnant, but had the child. Okay. Now, when you take your spouse for granted, do not expect them to stay there going through the pain, enduring, suffering, crying non-stop. A time will come, they will say enough is enough. A time will come when they say, hell no, I can't take it anymore. Everyone have their limits. Just like Ireti, she had her limit. She gave in all she knew, all she could, because she suffered as a child when she got married early, suffered as a young lady. And now that she's older, she says she knows what she wanted. That as an adult, it is no longer a do or die affair, because she now knows better. She now knows better that her mental health matters the most. She now understands that she has her right. She now understands that she deserves better. Just like some people out there are saying, I deserve better. I don't have to stay in this marriage suffering, crying non-stop. She deserves better. And that's what she's saying, that as an adult, she knows she deserves better and she can no longer stay in that marriage. And from what Patrick has been writing about her, it is obvious that he has been the jack. He has been the one misbehaving. People say it that those who know Patrick have come out to say that, look, Patrick is a kind of man that likes anything under the skirt. He cannot see a beautiful woman and take his eyes off her. And by the virtue of his position in the industry, his career, being a movie producer, being a broadcaster, being an actor, he's a fine actor, a seasoned actor. Like, he gets to meet a lot of people, a lot of beautiful women. And of course, you don't expect Ireti to be seen all this while she stays and then pretend or turn blind eyes. This issue has been gone. She said, though, despite painting this picture about them having a perfect marriage, coming on social media to show people, the whole world, that their marriage is a beautiful one, that they have a lot of gap between them. Meaning, behind closed doors, that marriage isn't what people are thinking. It isn't what you and I are thinking. Which is why I say, when you come on social media, you see people. Do not believe everything you see. There are some couples, they are just living on social media. Their marriage is flourishing on social media alone. On social media. Outside social media, they are dealing with so much. Outside social media, they are not friends. Outside social media, they are not in talking terms. Someone was telling me a couple of days ago, there's this couple that have been together for over 20 years and they are not in talking terms. Right now, the only way they communicate is via WhatsApp, via email. Why? Because this is something most couples are doing. But when they come on social media, you upload pictures, make videos together, you think their marriage is perfect. And then you within, you are trying to make your marriage work. You look at them and then you want to compare. This is where the dangers of comparison in marriage comes in. Your marriage may be more perfect than that person you see on Instagram, giving you couples gold. And this is what Ireti is saying, that yes, she knows that she painted that picture for a lot of people, because a young lady actually confronted her and then said, like, I look up to you as a role model. I see you as a role model. As my mother, I want to model my marriage after years. But see this right now, I am disappointed. And she said, I am sorry if I painted a picture about my marriage. If I painted a perfect picture for you all. But hey, I am not I wish, okay, let me see if I can see that response to that young lady here, and I'll read it out. I'll read it out for you guys. Let me see. Okay. No, I can't find it here now. I can't find it here. But let's go on. Another person said, in the beginning, okay, she said, in the beginning, all I wanted to do was act, to perform and be seen. It was about 5 years in that it struck me, almost this work of my hand was supposed to bring me fortune. Then I began to focus on my money, and that's where strategy began. I am wondering, somebody said, I'm wondering if divorce has always been the best route, especially in marriages that have been more than a few years. Why am I reading this? Somebody called her out and said that looks like celebrity marriages don't last. It's as if the moment you become famous, you dump your marriage. The moment you become famous, you no longer care about your husband or your children. Ireti is 55 years. She's not a young woman. Like, she's not that young. She's not in her 40s. I mean, they have grown up children already. And she's replying to this person that, look, it's not like that. This fame isn't the reason. I have been doing this 5 years into it, because she's been in the industry for a very long time. That 5 years into it, that was when I started. I decided to like make money out of the work of my hand. So it is not just because of that. And for that person who was telling her that she sees as a role model, she apologized. I'm sorry. So if you are in marriage, you are putting in your best. Take your eyes off the marriages you see on social media. Yeah, 19. The marriages you see on social media, some are not what you think they are. People are struggling with marriages. People are trying to make theirs work. Others are falling apart. Others are practically living like brothers and sisters. Many are just strangers in the house under the same roof. They are not in talking terms. They don't greet each other. Neither do they eat from the same pot. Neither do they cook with the same pot. But when they come on social media, in order to keep that appearance, they make you and I believe that the marriage is perfect. And then you are looking at your husband and you are saying, hey, look at Patrick Doyle. Patrick Doyle's marriage is working. Patrick Doyle loves his wife. He's giving her all the support in her career and all that. Both of them are in the industry and they understand the game perfectly well. They understand the game, because if you're not in the industry, you will not understand how difficult it is for a couple that are in the same career, how difficult it is for them to cope. It's usually not easy. That is why a lot of people think, so I see that celebrities' marriage crash easily. If one party is not giving that support, that is not having that understanding, is not communicating with the right language, that marriage will not last. It's going to be very, very difficult and challenging for them. And Patrick, you are looking at it that Patrick is giving the wife, and then because you think your husband is not supporting your kind of career, you now want to use it to crash your own marriage. Be careful, because you don't know the struggles behind closed doors. You don't know how difficult it is for these two people to struggle through this marriage until they can no longer take it, and then the marriage fall apart. Hello, Mommy Fechi. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you, Mommy. Thank you so much. God bless you. I appreciate you, ma. Thank you. So it is not easy for a lot of couples. And rather than stay in that marriage, suffering, going through pain, depression, sometimes it is better to just come out and say, hey, the heat is too hot. I can't take it anymore. But if you can make it work, I wish that celebrities can work harder on their marriages. I wish they can try harder to make marriages work, because they have role models, just like this lady who called her out and said, I used to see you as my role model. I look up to you as my mom. Seeing this now is heartbreaking. Seeing this now, I am so disappointed. People take them as role models. They see them, and look up to them and want to model their own marriages after these role models. But unfortunately, this is life, because you don't know what happens behind closed doors. You don't know what they did. That person you are seeing as your role model, you don't know the struggle. So I wish that celebrities' marriages will not be packing up, because the impression it is giving to a lot of young people today. Welcome, AA. Thank you, D. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. The impression that these celebrities are giving to people, these celebrities whose marriages are packing up, are giving to people is that, look, the moment the first sign of trouble, both. The first misunderstanding you have, both. The first argument you have, both. Any minor issue you have, if you feel there's no more love, both. That is the impression young people are giving. I mean, young people are being given with what is happening, with these marriages falling apart, because these people are celebrities. They're in the eyes of the camera every time. They're on the news. You and I know them. And then when I hear, oh, Ireti's marriage has cried, I'm like, if I'm a young lady who is not married, I'm like, oh my God, just when I am thinking that this marriage is perfect, and then here it comes crashing like a pack of cards. Is there any hope for my own marriage? Is mine ever going to work out? If these people can be in marriage for 20 years and they are still crashed, is there any hope for me when I get married? Or couples who are in marriage, who just got married, struggling through it the first or second year of marriage. The moment they see things like this, they give up. They feel, oh, if Ireti Doyle can walk out of her marriage, who am I not to walk away? What am I doing? Why should I stay and suffer? Why should I endure with him? So it is putting fear in the heart of so many. It's making a lot of people panic about marriage, which is why I am here saying marriage is something you give 100%. It is not 99. It is not 89, 79. No, 100% for it to work. Your 100% is given, and it's also expected that you get 100% from your spouse. If your spouse is giving 100% and you are giving 90, something is lacking there. You are not giving your 100%. When you are giving your 100%, meaning you are putting in all effort in order to make it work. You are giving in your best, meaning you value that marriage. You want to see it work for yourself, for your spouse, for your children, not just bolting out at the first sign of struggle. There are beautiful marriages out there. People are working on them daily. Celebrities' marriage, that is why at this point I give the trophy to Joke Silva and Olu Jacob. They have been married for God knows how many years. But look at it, through thick and thin, they've held each other's hand. Even when Olu Jacob was weak, in his weak moments, like when he's weak health-wise, Joke Silva is still there, giving the husband all the love and support. Why? Because this same man has honored her, respected her, shown her all the value a woman deserves to have in marriage. Gave her all the love and attention and respect needed. And right now, he is reaping it. Marriage is not it's not a walk in the park. It's not a bed of roses. We know that. Marriage is not easy. But every day we work on it, it becomes easier. Every day we put in our best, it becomes easier. Every day we work on our weaknesses, it becomes easier. But are we giving ourselves the chance, the opportunity to even make these marriages work? Are we putting in effort to see that this marriages work as couples, as young couples? Many keep saying our parents' marriage, they endured too much. This is no longer the year of endurance. Really, there are trying times in marriage. There are times you have to face difficulties in marriage. There are times you have to stand and ask yourself, why am I even here? Yes, it happens. There are times, if you have not gotten to that point, if you have not had that challenge, you are yet to face the temptation that comes with marriage. You are here to face, you are yet to face the challenges that comes with marriage. But at that point, when you stand and ask yourself, what am I even doing here? What am I even doing in this marriage? How did I even end up here? And then you tell yourself, whoa, it's not a bed of roses. I can figure it out. I can make it work. Remember, if it is not plagued with domestic violence, if it is not plagued with abuse, you can try and make it work with good communication. Welcome, Anne's Delicious Kitchen. I appreciate you, Queen. Thank you so much, and thank you for the thumbs up. Okay, guys, if you are watching me, please do not forget to smash the like, and if you can, please kindly help me share out this stream. Let's have more people join in on the stream. Okay, I appreciate you. So you look at yourself at that time, that point where you're struggling, and you tell yourself, look, I can make it work. This can work if I put in effort, if I'm able to communicate in the right language, the way my spouse is going to understand. Because this is not just for the men alone, it is equally for us, the women. It is not just for the women alone, it is equally for you, this man watching me right now. No marriage is perfect, but you can put in all your effort, every effort. Do not say, I can only give this. The moment you feel within you, you can't give your spouse the best. Do not expect the best from them. Because if one thing is lacking, they will equally withdraw one. You withdraw 10, they withdraw 10. Is it now 100%? No. You withdraw 20, they get tired struggling in that area, they equally withdraw. And you two start struggling and competing with one another. This marriage would have worked. This divorce would have been averted if only Patrick Doyle maybe had really searched himself properly as a husband, as a father, as a man, and say, this woman has given me her all. And now is the time, because he said, he swore that he is now a born-again husband and he will give her all his best, because this woman here is a rare virtue. This woman here has got rare virtues. She's a rare woman. She has given him everything, a man that he is not even deserving of her love and commitment in this marriage. He is not deserving of everything she has given to him. He recognizes that what happened. Did he later withdraw? Because he says severally he has fallen. That a number of times he had made a vow to her and then go back. A number of times he has promised to love her, to respect her, and stop whatever that is cracking this marriage. But he found himself failing over and over again. And now he has vowed that, hey, going forward till death do them part, that he has promised never again, he will never hurt her again. He has promised to be committed in that marriage, to be a good father to their children, to be a good husband to her. And I'm asking every husband watching right now, or every husband that's going to watch this right now, are you truly repentant? Are you truly ready to give your best to your wife? Are you truly ready to be an amazing husband, a responsible husband? Are you truly ready? There are women who are doing their best. They are giving in their best. But the weakness, the struggle from the men is making them give up easily. They feel like they can't give in everything in that marriage, while the man gives nothing, little or nothing. Oh, Wanyama, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Queen. Please kindly help me smash the like. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And are you giving your best as a husband? Or you're waiting for your wife to throw in the towel? Are you putting in an effort as a man? Or you're waiting for her to get tired and get frustrated? Are you giving in your best as your husband, as a husband? Or are you waiting for her to get depressed and drop dead? Which one are you waiting for? This is January. How many more marriages have crashed? This is January. How many more are going to throw in the towel? This is January. How many more young people are you going to disappoint, especially those who are looking up to you? How many more? What impression are these people creating about marriage? That marriage is no longer a do what I like. Marriage, I know it's not a do what I like. Marriage is no longer for better, for worse. Like at the first sign of trouble, please take the door and walk away. I don't know how long they have been struggling with this. I don't know how long they have been struggling to patch this marriage. But it has gotten to the point where the woman can't take it anymore. And Patrick Doyle is not saying anything, because from what he wrote about himself being weak in that marriage goes to show that he has not really put in all his efforts. No matter how successful a man is, if your marriage isn't working, you are not successful. Because a successful man is a man that is successful in every space of life, in every angle. In his home front, he's been a responsible father, a responsible husband. In business, he's doing well. Career, he's doing great. In relationship, he's doing great. But if you cannot put in effort as a husband, as a man in your marriage, you are not successful. especially when it is plagued with infidelity. What is that thing you are looking for as a man? Have you looked at your wife and see it lacking? Welcome, Faith Varieties. Thank you so much, Wanyoma. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Welcome. Kindly smash the like, okay? I appreciate you. What are you looking for in a woman that your wife doesn't have? Career-wise, this woman knows her onions. She's a seasoned entertainer. I mean, you need to take a look at all her movies, starting with Teen Cell. Let us even go back to the days of Teen Cell. She was doing so great. She knows her onion. She's supportive. Welcome, Tyrone. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. She knows her onion. She's doing her best. So why can't you as a man give in your best as well? Instead of looking at everything under the skirt, you see this actor one, your eyes is on her. You see this actress two, your eyes is on her. You see this beautiful. You are going to see a lot more beautiful women. The beautiful ones are not yet born. You think you've seen the one with a curvy shape? Wait until you see the next one that knocks on your office door. You think you've seen the one with the good boobs? Wait until the next one barges in. Chima, thank you so much. I appreciate you. The beautiful ones are not yet born. So why don't you take care of who you have? The woman God has blessed you with. Why don't you appreciate her? Giving her all the best, your love and your support and the respect due to her. She can't be in the industry while she hears rumors of you messing around with different women. There is no love, there is no respect, there is no dignity. Where is your integrity as a husband? Marriage of 19 years. Now, what has it got to say about this? The marriage is gone. And some people were like asking her, like, why is she still keeping the name Doyle? Because that's Patrick Doyle's name. In Nigeria, the moment your marriage crashes and you go for a divorce, you're supposed to drop the man's name. That is the idea a lot of people have. That is the mindset a lot of people have. But if that name, you've lived with that name for a very long time, especially if that name has been with you longer than your maiden name, you can retain that name. And she answered that this name is her name. She deserves to keep the name. She has worked for that name. For 19 years, she has beared Ireti Doyle. That is her brand name. That is her business name. With that name, she's putting food on her table because she worked for it. And so she's not dropping that name. It didn't go down well with online in-laws or be online trolls. They were bashing her left, right, and center that she needs to drop that name. If you drop the man, you need to drop the name. Like, that name is no longer your name. Sharon, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Kindly smash the like. I appreciate everyone. I'll be dropping my link just in case anyone who wants to join in on this discussion. Please feel free to always jump on the link and discuss with me, okay? Because whether we like it or not, this is something everyone needs. Whether we like it or not, we want our marriages to work out. Whether we like it or not, we want to have a successful marriage. Okay, so if you don't mind, you can jump on the link. Let us discuss on this topic. Okay, I'm trying to read out on this name thing. Now, someone said, I'm looking for where they questioned her. Okay. Where they questioned her on the use of that name. Let me come. I'm trying to find it. Okay. And then somebody answered that you can legally keep your ex-husband's name after divorce and nobody can make you take it off. The moment they are married, they have given you the name for life to do as you want. Senator Florence Itagiwa divorced the Giwa and he even remarried before his demise. But she's still using the Giwa. It's legal. It's your name for life if you want. He can't even get a court to take that away. And this is so true. Yeah, this is so true. Because for 19 years, she has maintained that name. That is a brand name for her. Tyron said, if she had that name for 19 years, she deserves to keep it. Absolutely. Yes, she deserves to keep it. And I'm really, really on that as well, especially if it's attached to her business and income. Yes, thank you. This name is attached. This is what she's been known for. This is her business name. This is her brand name. She does, I mean, everything is tied to her finance. Her income is tied to this name. So for her, we don't expect her to go to court right now and begin to change the name, go back to her maiden name, of which she has already changed. Go back to her maiden name and then, you know, struggling and everything. No, it doesn't really make any sense. If Patrick goes to court right now, I don't see her dropping that name. Why? Because she has lived longer. This name has been with her longer than her maiden name. It has been with her for a very, very long time. And she has done everything to deserve that name. She has worked so hard for that name. So people who are trolling her that she needs to keep that name, the moment you drop a man, drop his name, if you feel the man, you don't deserve the man anymore, I mean, the man is not deserving of your love anymore, then you should equally trash the name. It doesn't work that way. If you want to, in your early years of marriage, maybe 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, and that name is of no value to you, you can trash the name. If your income is not tied to that name, if your business is not tied to that name, you can trash the name if you don't need it anymore. I mean, after all, what value is the name to you if that name is not giving you any benefit or adding any value to your life? You can trash it. It's your choice to decide. So long as you were legally married, you can look at that name and see of what value is this name to me? What value is this name adding to my life? If there is no value, then you go to court and then get the name out of your way. But if that name, you see it that for 10, 20 years, this is the name everyone knows me with, this is the brand name I use, this is the name for my business, this is the name that brings, I mean, business to me, you can't begin to change it and then look for a new name. Welcome, Grace Adelaga. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Queen. I appreciate every one of you. Please, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like if you can share out. Let's have more people come in here. Please do so kindly. Do so, okay? Now, what are we discussing today? Marriages are falling apart on a daily basis. We look at young marriages packing up, and then you also look at the old marriages packing up. Marriages of 10, 20, 30 years can still fall apart if both parties ceases to give their best. If one party decides that, hey, I want to start being smart, and then you withdraw the way you behave. You withdraw your good nature, your good character, and you start trying to play smart, or let your ego as a man or your pride as a woman get the best of you, that marriage can still crash. If you have 10 children together, it takes 2 to tango. It takes 2 to make marriages work. It takes 2 to put, 2 efforts to make it work. It is not one-sided. Because the moment it becomes one-sided, like I said, your arms get weak. If you're holding on to marriage and you are the only one trying to communicate effectively, you are the only one trying to talk to your partner, get them to discuss with you, get them to trash issues, get them to open up, you get tired and frustrated eventually. Why? Because you're putting in your best, but you're not seeing it, you're not seeing any effort from them. There is misunderstanding between 2 people. It takes 2 people to sit down, 2 grown adults to sit down and say, let's talk this over. Not ghosting one person. It's heartbreaking when couples have descended so low to communicate via social media or communicate via WhatsApp or email or through their children. Go and tell daddy. Go and tell daddy that breakfast is ready. Daddy's your husband. You're supposed to walk up to daddy and say, food is ready. Are you having breakfast? You now send your child. Go tell him that food is ready. When when communication has degenerated to this level, there is nothing left of that marriage, because communication is one thing that will hold the marriage together. No matter the issues, no matter the circumstances, no matter the misunderstanding, it is communication that will keep it going. If the communication line is broken, there is nothing, little or nothing you can do about it. That is why the very first sign you notice that your husband, your wife is withdrawing from communicating effectively with you, please call their attention. Do whatever you can do within your power to get them to communicate, because that is the only way that issue can be sorted out. It is the only way it can be trashed. When you two come together to discuss it, seek the help of a professional. Call their attention. If you need to talk to a third party, a trusted third party, or be it a professional or their parent or somebody they respect, please by all means do so. No, don't say you are above that. You are above calling. Like I can't go seek a professional counselor's help because you've been married for 20 years. No matter how long you've been married, you still need that help if things are going wrong. If things are breaking down, you need that help. This is why, some people are shocked that marriage of 20 years can still crash. Hello, marriage of 30 years can still crash if nothing is done early. If you allow the breakdown to continue, if you allow those cracks, patching it will not help. Coming on social media to give us couples goal will not help. Going on social media to take pictures together, singing praises of one another on social media, posting sweet love messages on their birthday or anniversary. These things will not help it. The crack on the wall is still there. You are only plastering it, and the plastering will not help it. One day it's going to fall apart, and this is the truth. And the day it's going to fall apart, nothing is going to save it. Nothing will save it. That is why the earlier you try to address issues in your marriage, the better. The earlier you try to sort it out, the better. Patching it, pretending is what a lot of people are used to. Just like Ireti Doyle and Patrick Doyle, they have been having these issues for several years. And she owned up to it. She agreed that, yes, I have painted it by all means, by any means, I have painted a picture of a perfect marriage to you. I am sorry. This is her career. She's an actress. She's a celebrity. She is well known. So she needs to keep up with that appearance of a perfect wife. She needs to keep telling people their marriage is working. Their marriage is doing so well. Why? Because a lot of people still look up to them. So if they have been painting this picture, and then suddenly she's coming out to say, I am sorry. I am sorry. I didn't mean to deceive any of you, but I'm human. I am a human being. There's a limit to what we can take. I'm expecting a call. We'll come up after to share something that happened recently. Okay, Mommy, thank you so much. I appreciate every one of us here. Thank you so much. That she's human. So these are the patches going on, especially in the industry. People trying to put up a front, a very fake front, that their marriage is succeeding, their marriage is perfect. And so you are looking in the comfort of your bedroom, and you're looking like, oh my God, look at Mercy Johnson and her husband. These people are just too much. You look at Choma and Davido. Oh my God, the most perfect couple in the world. These are social media front. They need to keep putting this image out there for their brand, for their businesses. There's a difference between private life and social media life. The social media life brings money. It puts food on their table. It's their business. The private life is where the marriage is. And that is what they need to work more on. So if they can no longer communicate, but they come on social media to put up appearance, you are now be thinking this marriage is perfect, and we keep tapping. Couples go. We go to their pages. Oh my God, I wish my marriage can be like Ireti Doyle and Patrick Doyle. They've been married for almost 20 years and they're still going, weathering the storm together. Ireti said, I am sorry, we've had a lot of gap. We've had a huge gap. There is a huge gap in our marriage. We have been putting a front. We've been deceiving people. We've not been telling the truth. And so many were disappointed. That is why if you are taking someone as a role model, be sure you know them personally, on a personal level, not just on social media. Before you can say, this person is my role model. Let your mother, if she's alive, let your father, if their marriage is working out so perfectly well, let their marriage be a role model. Look at your mother and say, is she the kind of wife I want to be? Is she the kind of mother I intend to be? She might be enduring. She knows the reason why she's enduring. Not everyone believes in divorce. There are people who believe in making marriages work out. There are people who believe in sorting out issues, not jumping out the window at the first sign of trouble. They are social media figures. They need to set good examples. A lot are showing them as okay. I've seen them as miracles, as mirror. Okay, not me anyway. Okay, that is the truth. Many people are seeing them as role model. They use them to mirror their own life. They are using them to mirror the way they live their own life. You know, so if they go on holidays, they also plan their own holidays. If they come out on social media to post, you equally go and post yourself and your husband. You do not know. I wish. What we see on social media is the reality, but unfortunately, it isn't the reality. Welcome, Oyoyo Wanyama. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you. So let us be careful. Marriages, there are people who still believe in making marriages work. They don't believe in divorce. Your mother could be one. My mother was one before she passed on. We may say, I don't want to endure and suffer the way my mother suffered. Unless your mother suffered domestic violence or abuse, then you can say, I cannot use her marriage as a mirror to mine. I can't use it to mirror my own marriage. I want mine to be a happy marriage, not an enduring marriage. Many are enduring marriage. Many are suffering in silence, but they come on social media and project this picture, this beautiful picture of a perfect couple. Rather than make it work, rather than work on that thing, they prefer to come on social media to paint images that is not real, unrealistic images. When you have issues in your marriage, sit down and dialogue it out. If you cannot communicate, get one person. Like I said, the moment a man or a woman has no one person that can talk to him or her, trust me, that person is in trouble. Their spouses are in trouble. If a man says, nobody can talk to me, nobody, I can't go to anyone for counsel, who is that person that wants to talk to me? There is fire on the mountain. The moment a woman feels too prideful that nobody can correct her, nobody can call her to order, she can't listen to anyone, she can't even talk to a counselor or even her own parent, no, there is fire on the mountain. And this is one major reasons why marriages break, marriages crash, because people prefer to pretend and live a fake life. They prefer to pretend. It is well, this institution called marriage, heard of a couple that dated for over 10 years. Things were going well when they were still boyfriend and girlfriend. Then they got married. 2 years after, they are divorced. Divorce. After 10 years, dating, having great time, the moment they say, I do, that's it. They stop being honest to themselves. The moment they say, I do, they stop communicating properly. Somebody was saying that these men know what they are doing. When they saw Paul Okoye and Ify went on a holiday and on a tour, and he has been posting her videos and her pictures all along. And some people in the comment section were like, this guy, so you know how to show romance. to a woman, and for all these years you've been married to your wife, you refuse to do the right thing. Now that the marriage has crashed, you now have a girlfriend. You are now projecting and showing the whole world your girlfriend. Why did you not do all this lovey-dovey, all this trip with your wife? Sometimes we know what we should do, but the pride in us as human is not allowing us do the right thing. The ego in us as humans is not allowing us do the right thing. You know your wife deserves this love and affection and pampering. Is it gonna hurt you if you show her the love and the pampering and all the affection? Is it gonna hurt you? No. So why are you not doing it? Why are you not doing it? Why wait until the marriage crash? Why wait until things have gone south before you start doing it? Yeah, but why still today I'm confused. Honestly, I say women should not force themselves on the man. Absolutely. She shouldn't if he's not working. If he's not working, you have done all your best. What I'm preaching here today is do the right thing from the beginning. Do not let your marriage get so bad before you trying to save it. If you know that thing you should do, the right thing you should do from the onset, go ahead and do it. Do not wait until the marriage has broken down, then you start trying to patch it, coming on social media to sing praises of your spouse like Patrick Doyle did. Welcome, Oyoyo Wanyoma. Thank you for joining me. How did it go on your live stream?
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It went so well. I had some amazing women, amazing women that with so much experience and reverence for God that, threw more light on it. It went well. I came in quickly because of the thing we are talking about, Paul Okoye and the new girlfriend. Because we forget things so quickly. So I just needed to make us understand. That's why I said women should not force themselves on men.
Yeah.
Paul and Anita, they had a child together before Paul actually married Anita. And they were living lovers at the time and all of that. But Paul refused to go and pay bride price on this girl. It took him years, maybe years of conviction by his brothers or sisters or parents. They got to see this girl. Do you understand? So we don't know what kept him for not running off quickly to go and pay bride price. After all, it wasn't financial problem that he had. He could afford to take care of it. So we don't know what happened. They met in the university while Paul was in the university. And then because he's a famous person, we don't know, maybe this girl clinged on and, didn't want to move on. And then
he was forced to eventually go pay her bride price and marry her officially.
Do you understand? So it might not be the same affection he's having with this girl. This girl, maybe he has fallen in love. You understand? Maybe when with his wife initially, he was in love, and then those artists, how they behave.
Falling out of love.
And then because you have a son for me and all of that, they went into the marriage after years, not 1 year, years of relationship, and then years of having a child together. So the thing is, a woman should appreciate herself first, value yourself. If you're in a relationship and the person is not giving you the green light, move on with or without a child. For the fact that you're a child, as you guys produce a child in that really does not mean you should remain there. It's not a must the person marries you, because if that person is not having it the way you're having it, even after the marriage, the person will still not have it for you.
Yeah. So we are looking at Patrick Doyle and Ireti Doyle's divorce. We know that this divorce didn't just happen over the weekend. She only granted an interview recently with Chude, and that was where she opened up a couple of things that people didn't know about, and it came as a shock to many as well, because the divorce was done quietly. The divorce was done silently. She didn't come on social media to drag Patrick and make so much noise about the divorce and all that. Neither did Patrick himself make. So a lot of people were surprised, like, whoa, So this marriage has packed up. Like, we know a couple of years ago, they separated and Ireti moved out of the house, and Patrick tried getting her back. It got to a point she came back to the house. Now, why am I discussing this tonight? Discussing these people tonight. Sometimes it's not how far a marriage has gone or how many years a marriage has gone that makes it successful. A marriage can be as long as 30 years and it will still crash if the right thing is not done by both parties. If the woman is not giving her 100% and the man is not giving his 100%. Because in this case, it looks like Ireti, as a woman, as a wife, has given her best. But looks like fault has been coming from Patrick himself. From what he wrote about her, admitting to his flaws as a man, how he hasn't really been doing his best as a husband, how he has been a jack in that marriage, how he is so undeserving of Ireti, how Ireti has been the backbone, how Ireti has been so supportive and all that. Now the question is, you know all this, you even promised to change, you promised to be a good husband, you promised to be there to change everything you've been doing. Then suddenly, what happened? Because this could be the reason why Ireti had it up to here and decided, like, hey, if you've made so much promises and you're not ready to stop, I am moving out and then filing for divorce. So why are they not doing the right thing early enough and wait for things to get sour, to get sour?
You know what I will say? First of all, I was not surprised when I saw that interview. Why do I say I was not surprised? This is not the first time Ireti came out to talk about this relationship, okay? And also, you made a mention of them not coming to social media to talk about it. The people involved are not kids, okay? They are not the social media generation. They are not social media generation, so they've handled things before this social media we are talking about. They've been in existence before the likes of Facebook and all of that and YouTube. So you don't expect them or anybody expecting them to come and throw their dirty linen outside. No, because they are also learning the social media as adults, adults learning how to work the social media. Then this is not if Patrick made a statement today, I've read about that similar statement years past. He has continuously admitted the fact that he was, if I may use his words, he says he's the jackass in the relationship. You understand? So he has continuously admitted it. But the thing is that if you admit that you have a problem, the next step is seeking for solution. He admitted it years back that he had a problem. Did he seek for solution? That I cannot verify. And then if he has sought for solution at that time, they had the problem initially, by now they would not have been divorced. But the thing is that Ireti, maybe she's tired of accommodating that particular problem. She's tired because there is a limit to every human being. Once you get to that your limit, that is it. It's either you break up or you revert. And this lady, she had tried to endure and tried to make it work. It's not working. You don't. To me, that's my own personal opinion. If a relationship is not working, I will take a walk. And when I walk, I will not look back. And that is
if it's not working, meaning that you have worked on it, meaning that you have put in your best, meaning that you tried making it work. Because the problem a lot of people are having is not even making any effort to make it work, despite knowing that they have a problem, despite knowing that the fault is coming from them. They don't put in any effort to make it work, and they just want to bolt. Now look at what you said.
You know why I can't categorically say that they were not putting effort? Because I don't know them that well. Okay, so I don't want to.
No, this is generally speaking. This is general. It's not just about them. I'm just using them to point out that look at how far this marriage has gone. Yet it crashed, and it didn't just crash overnight. There has been problems.
I'm gonna bring to you here. Remember Bill Gates and Melinda Gates? You understand? I think they were married for over 20 something or maybe 30 years. And then the marriage not crashed. It crashed. You know what? The woman says she's tired. She's tired of accommodating this. Bill is not changing. Bill keep making the same mistake. I'm tired of forgiving and moving on. I want to be out so that I don't have to forgive tomorrow. I don't have to go through that again. There is an extent, anybody, we all have limits. And once you reach your boiling point, that is it for you. Maybe this is the limit for this woman. They've been separated. They try to come back again. She has granted interview in the past. She's granted interview again. And Doyle or Patrick on his own part had said all these things again. He said recently that he's the problem in the relationship. We don't know if he tried to work on it, but he did not
Yeah.
succeed. People have
Mm.
problems. You understand? People
Yeah.
have internal things that are going on, that is going on with their lives, that are going through, that they don't want the public to know. So maybe he
Yeah.
tried his best to the best of his ability. He did not
Mm.
succeed, or he gave up in between. Because if you're doing an intervention, for example, the therapy will
Mm.
tell you you have to complete that intervention for you to have a result. But if you start an intervention and along the line you gave up, you haven't achieved anything. You go back to square one. It's like somebody who is trying to stop smoking. You're trying to stop smoking. They will tell you have to 3-4 months not to be around people that smoke, not to be around people that will influence you to smoke. You have to go live 3-4 months in a place, a rehabilitation place, for you to go through that cleansing, to be able to know if you can stand the urge of
Yeah.
having to smoke and not smoking, and whereby you run out of that particular rehabilitation place and go back to your old
No
friends.
fallback.
You go back. So we don't know
Mm.
what it is. Ireti, if she has moved on, kudos to her, because sincerely, marriage should be enjoyed, not endured. It should be
Absolutely.
enjoyed, not tolerated. Once you get to the point of you enduring it and tolerating
Mm-hmm.
everything, that means you have lost the whole essence of togetherness. And I don't want to
Mm.
die in misery. And I don't want anybody I know to die in misery because you want to live
Yeah.
there based on what the society will say, based on
Yeah.
what the church will say, based on what your parents will say. No, I don't
Mm.
subscribe to that.
Societal standard.
I don't
Thank
subscribe.
you so much, Oyoyo. Thank you. Juba Bruce, welcome. Thank you so much. Onyi was asking if the guy is an actor. Yes, he's a filmmaker. He's an actor. He's a broadcaster. He's a scriptwriter. He's a producer. He's a director. Name it. The guy is all weather in the entertainment industry, especially in the movie industry. So that, you know him very well. You know Ireti from Teen Cell and other movies she has equally acted in. If you even know what's what's this latest one that they did, this one AY produced. Very interesting. So she's really a fantastic woman. Welcome, Mommy Fechi. Mommy Fechi is here. I really appreciate you, Mommy. Thank you so much. Guys, I
Welcome,
appreciate you. If
Mommy.
you've not given me a thumbs up,
Thank you.
please do so. Welcome, Mommy.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Hi, yo.
Very well, thank you.
Okay, good. I won't waste
Glad to
time
hear
because
you.
yeah, I just had this call and they're going to call me back, so I need to. But I just wanted to say something quickly, yeah, because I don't know how long I will take. What I want to actually say is, something to do with marriage. Sometimes it's just something that we cannot talk enough of, and people do not actually get it. I will continue saying it that marriage is not mandatory. You don't have to get married just for the sake of it and then suffer there or manage it. You cannot manage marriage. The story I want to tell is very unfortunate. I only heard of this last week when I kept saying to myself, "Oh, I've not spoken with this lady for a while. Let me check up on her because I know that she's got a little bit of challenges in her health, and we've known each other for many, many years, starting from when we lived in Scotland. And so, from time to time, she will call me or I'll call her. She also has adult children. So I called her last week. It was like bereavement to me, to be quite honest, because I've known these people, we've known them, we've all done things together with our children when we are in the 80s and 90s, when we are in Scotland. So, and I said to her, "Oh, how are you?" I was just laughing and say, "Oh, it's been a while. How are you? How was Christmas and all the rest of it?" She said, "Yeah, okay." I said, "Oh, how are things in Edinburgh?" No, she said, "I'm not in Edinburgh anymore." I said, "You are not in." I said, "Oh, have you people moved?" She said, "You and who?" I said, "No, I've moved." I'm like, "Oh." I said, "What happened? What do you mean you?" She said, "Oh, I'm no more with," he mentioned the husband's name. And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Mind you, this couple has been married longer than we have. So you all know how many years I've been married? Yes. They are about 3 years older in marriage than us. So just to give you an idea what is happening. Yes. So they're not just young. That's why I say to sometimes people use children as a, and then once the children are all gone, it's just two of you in the house, you cannot stand each other. I was shocked.
30
Somebody who is
something years
about
marriage.
40 something, yes. And I'm like, I said to her, are you kidding me? She said, no, no, no. Do you know the shock I got was she said to me, oh, do you know what? This problem, I would have left him 5 years into this marriage. I don't know why I stayed. That's what she said.
Whoa.
I would have left him 5 years into this marriage. And so I said, so you mean that this almost 40 years or 30 something years has been like patch? She said, yes, basically. And I'm like, and this is the particular woman when I think I've told that story a little bit in one of my live stream, I think, where they visited us when we were in Scotland. They visited us and they came with a visitor and they were in the living room, obviously. And then I was making some food for them. And my husband, normally, he will make the, turning off the sumo. And when I have to make something like soup, he will do the other one. So this woman just came out to go to the east herself. And she looked in the kitchen and saw that it was my husband who was helping me. She left the toilet she was going to and ran out to the living room where her husband was and said to him, come and see your fellow man. Come and see your fellow man. Hey, I'm telling you. And they came with a visitor. Myself and my husband were so embarrassed. My husband was like, oh my God, you should have shut that kitchen door so she doesn't see me. I said, why will you have to hide that to do what you normally do? If her husband doesn't do that and it's okay by them, fine. But it was clearly not okay. But why will it be in somebody's house that you have to display like that? If
that you have to
been,
point it out.
Yeah. Why will he just be in this kind of scenario and shouting at him? Ran over to the living room and was shouting at him. I was so shocked. I could not believe it. Later on, I spoke with her and I said to her, look, this is not right. If you've lived with your husband for all this number of years, if he has not been helping in the kitchen, this is not the best way. Maybe the best way would have been after you saw my husband, you go home. When you get home, you say to him, actually, but maybe he doesn't even know that he needs to help you because you have not been saying, instead of mourning and displaying like this, sit him down and say, each time, don't even give him example of what you saw, where you went. Don't even bring that one. Yeah, don't even bring that one in. But just because it may be to her, initially, it was like, oh, men, don't do this thing. But when he saw my husband, he was like, oh, so this can be done. Don't even go and start saying, when I went to their house, I saw her husband in the kitchen doing this. You don't even say that when you get home. Never mind coming to shout at him in front of comparison. I said, no. I said to her, later on, I really spoke with this lady in a calm voice and I said, look, there may be things I'm talking about now. This was in the 90s that this happened, and now they just went their separate ways. And she told me that this happened in September last year. Oh, because we haven't spoken for a while. I'm that kind that I don't really, that's why when I saw this nonsense friendship thing going on YouTube, I laugh because she's my good friend. But we haven't I've spoken to her since September though, but she never told me this. She said that it was in the process at the time and she didn't want to tell me because she know I will start preaching to her, that she doesn't want anybody that will preach to her. That's why she didn't tell me. We have spoken a few times, but she didn't want to tell me, she said. Anyway, so I said to her, the best thing would have been to, nicely say to him, when you get home, not at the moment, but don't tell him that you saw my husband doing it. Just say to him, it would be nice if you can this and that. And then he will learn. Maybe you've been doing it yourself and he didn't think it was necessary for him to help because at that point, they still have their children at home and their children are not babies anymore. And she had 3 girls and a boy. So I don't see why they can't even help if that husband is not helping.
If the children are grown, what are they doing? The children can help her out and she doesn't even need to request that the husband does these things anymore.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't say they are grown at that time because I remember when we were in Scotland, my children were all teenagers or below. So yeah, they're not babies. Yeah. They're not babies, but they are not adults as well. So the husband helping is not out of place. But obviously that was not happy. But it's just the approach. you know. So that happened, and the husband is that kind that will not talk to you. He will give you that silence. Then he just ignored her. He didn't say anything to her, and that annoys her more. So when I was telling her in a nice way that this is what you should have done, and maybe speak with, he said, I would say where she came from, but all I have to say is that she's not from Igbo. She's not an Igbo lady. And she said, no, she said, yeah, my husband is not like your husband. You know, you Igbo, you people are lucky. Igbo men, they help a lot. They do this. They know how to marry their wives. And she started shouting at me, telling me, shouting at me, telling me about my husband.
Correct, Brahman.
He said, you Igbo ladies, you don't know what you gain. You know, because your husband look after you and they do everything for you. This one will not listen. And that's the only way I can talk to him for him to listen. If I talk to him quietly, he will not listen. Say, well, I said, but he never listened that day because you shouted, he ignored you. So did he listen? And so that's not the, anyway, I did my best to put a mouth in that matter, but I knew that from that time, I knew that that's how they are. And each time you see them, you can just tell, you know, no matter how people try to pretend, when you see them, even in on occasions or when we go on events, you see them together, you know that there's something not quite right, despite all these years of marriage. So when I said to her last week, I said, after 43 years of marriage, she said, yes, I wish I had
43
left.
years marriage.
Yes. She said, I thought I would have left earlier. So I said, what did your children say? Oh, the children want me to do what is right for me. Now, another thing that she said that baffled me, because it was concerning to me that two of her daughters, married, both of them married at the age of 34, and that's one of them married in 2014. From 2014 to 34 to now, you can count the number of years. She hasn't got an issue. One of them also married 3 years after her first daughter, married as well. No issue, not even being pregnant or having miscarriage. Then the next daughter, and they're all very well educated. The three daughters are all, both of them are medical doctors, and one is a pharmacist. So they're well learned and everything. So the youngest daughter should be about 36 this year, not married. So when I spoke to her last week, she was lamenting that she moved in September when her husband traveled to Nigeria because she felt that she's not safe in that marriage, that she doesn't know what he's going to bring back, that she has gone to investigate, and he's been told that it's her husband that is preventing her daughters from having children, that he didn't even want the children. I said, where are you making this investigation? And you said, I thought you were a Christian, because she talks about God all the time. She said, yeah, leave that one. When it comes to something that you need to do something, you have to do what you have to do. Hey, me, I begin to fear. After that, I said, I don't know when I want to relate with this woman again. What am I hearing? But that's exactly.
This is serious.
Just to show you what is going on in families and relationships. So he's now, whoever she saw or spoke to, now said that your husband didn't want them to get married in the first place, and that is why they're not having children. And their youngest daughter is 36, and she's not yet married. And their only son, their only son is the last child. That one has so the woman is just saying, talking about, I say, I'm a grandmother. Thank God that my son had that baby with that lady. I'm like, she never married that lady, but they had a child. So she's just so happy that she's got that child. So sometimes people's priority, they don't get it right. Is it all about being a grandmother, or because your son did not marry that woman, but they've got a daughter who she's happy with and everything? But what I'm trying to say is, there are so many issues in marriages, and for somebody to be accusing her own husband that she is the cause why their daughters.
That is a big problem.
Yes, very big one.
Let me welcome some persons here. Sorry, 1 second. The Mike Young Show. Thank you so much, Sister Winnie. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate every one of you here. Oh, yeah, no problem. I got your message. Okay, Queen Valerine. Mommy, please go on. You see that the major problem is not trashing issue, like this woman said.
Yes.
She would have left 5 years into that marriage.
Yeah.
What kept her up to this very moment until 43 years later? She now suddenly realized that she can no longer stay in that marriage.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
She has been
It's just
pretending
so,
and patching that she's happy and is working.
Yeah. And he could not walk anymore now, so she has to. So that broke my heart, to be quite honest, because this is not what I want to be hearing. People like that should be advising others who are younger in marriage, how they had issues and how they dealt with it, and this is where we are now. But now, for you to be doing this at this age, and I said to her, obviously you have a bit of a health challenge and everything. So yes, you have your daughters, but they've got their own lives, they have their own husbands, and they're in their homes, and they're working, very busy people. So how are you going to? Oh yeah, I'll manage. What if he was there? If that so-called husband was dead, wouldn't I live on my own? Oh, I'll be fine. And he doesn't know where I am. Because I was asking her, which part of UK are you in then?
43 years
Yeah, she said that
together with
he doesn't.
somebody.
Yeah, he doesn't know where she is, and that she doesn't want anybody to release the address to him. I'm like, I don't even know where you live anyway. Don't worry, don't tell me. I don't want to know, because sometimes there are things I don't understand. It baffles me. So I promised her that from time to time I'll check out on her, talk to her and see how she feels. But so that's what happened. That's why when this topic came up, I just thought I'll come and just to say that a lot of marriages, a lot of issues out there, and people are just patching. How can you be patching? You patch and then look at the outcome after 40-something years of marriage. So it's so sad.
This one 19 is even far better now. 19 years they had 6 children, and unfortunately one passed. And then this one 43 years. So you see, when we even talk about 1, 2, 3 years, it is still that learning process. It is when couples ought to make things work out, trash out anything, don't leave any stone unturned, because that thing you're patching, you're covering, pretending is working, a time will come. It will come to the open, and you can no longer continue to pretend with it, because your happiness is at stake. Your mental health is at stake. Welcome, be yourself, Ireti. I appreciate you. Thank you, Queen.
Yes, hello.
Your mental health is at stake. When you bottle up so much, pretending, putting up a front on social media, or because of family and friends, you want everybody to believe that your marriage is working, pretending, comparing, trying to show off that yours is the perfect one. Whereas behind, you're dealing with a lot. You are not helping the marriage. It is destroying it, because if you are not happy and your mental state is terrible, that marriage, there's no way you're going to give in your best in that marriage. You can't put in your best. You can't make any effort to save it. And that's what that is what I'm discussing today, that a lot of people are living lies, fake lies, pretending the marriage is working. Instead of working on it, they are pretending it is working. No marriage runs on autopilot. You cannot just fuel your car, very good engine, you start it and you leave the car to go on its own, and then you say it's a new car. It's a new car, unless it is one of these smart cars that you have to have a remote where you control everything, or you have a device where it is controlled from. Otherwise, you cannot leave your marriage to run on autopilot, believing that it's going to work out perfectly well. It takes two people to put in effort, and in the first few years of marriage, that is where that foundation is laid. If it's not laid early enough and it solidifies, you allow terrible traits to solidify, you allow bad characters to solidify, that thing it's a very faulty foundation already. Eventually to crack open.
So my dear,
and that's what I see these days.
A lot of people are patching, and that's why, and a lot of people, they're just managing, and they'll tell you it's because of the children. So that's why on this occasion, obviously the children are all gone. It's just 2 of them. And she said to me, I can't just stand, come back every day, every time him, and he's just not adding any value to my life. I said, after 40-something years, hey, she said that she told me that she told me that she's at peace now, that she's happy, that she can go to bed and sleep.
If she's happy, truly happy, if she's truly happy, fine. But I wonder how she wasted so many years to realize that she's not happy
Yeah,
in that marriage and stay
exactly.
put. And
Exactly.
now this is going to affect the children one way or the other. Their mental, there's this belief they'll be having that marriages maybe
Yeah.
may not, theirs may be
Mm-hmm.
faulty or theirs may eventually
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm-hmm.
issues. Look at the
Yeah.
challenge they're having. Rather than
Yes.
focus on that challenge and
Yes.
believe God while they put in effort medically to sort
Mm-hmm.
out the issues, fingers are beginning to point
Yeah.
left, right.
Point
He may have,
exactly. Yeah. It's
which is very
terrible.
bad. And if this thing gets to the children, what if these children
Mm-hmm.
begin to equally look at their father with that light, in that
That's
light, with
it.
that eyes
That's
that
it.
he could
So the
be?
whole family will just be destroyed like that. So that's why I say to people, because before anybody gets married, don't rush into things. And if you're cutting or you're just talking to the person, there must be red flag. Most people cannot hide, although some people can hide their behavior until you come in. But sometimes some people cannot hide. You see it. But unfortunately, some women will see these things and they'll think that, oh, once I go in, he'll be fine. Once he marries me, everything will be okay. It's not so. It's not always like that. So people should just open their eyes and study the person and prayerfully go into marriage if you have to get married. Otherwise, don't get married. You can be 36, 40, a lady, if you're not yet married. No, no. Instead of going to this kind of marriage that you go there and you're not happy, and after 40 something years, you're telling me that this is now that you're happy. So what kind of life is that? You wasted much of your life on happiness, and the medical condition she
Unhappiness.
has, who knows? It may be all contribute because when people are not happy and in marriage are not settled and satisfied in marriage, it can actually lead to all
Yes,
kinds of health issues. Yes,
absolutely.
both physical and mental. Yeah, it can. Because this is somebody that you wake up, you see the person, you go to bed, you see the person, you come back, you see it's you and the person all the time. It's not like friendship when you decide, or do you know that friend, I've not spoken to them in 3 months. That's okay, let them be where they are. But this one, you are seeing the person every single day, and if things are not working okay, it can start affecting everything, around you.
Yeah.
And so people
Yeah,
just have to be
how
careful.
many years are we living? How many years do we even have to live that
Yeah,
one will have
exactly.
to wait for this long to be
Yeah,
happy?
it's a
How
long
many
time.
years? So
Yeah.
if you take your time, like Tanya is saying, you take your time to study that person, know that person, and you can't deal with it. Start early enough instead of wasting the better part of your youthful life
Yeah.
unhappy, exposing yourself to one sickness or the other, one mental challenge to the other. Why don't you
Mm.
just, that early stage, if you know that maybe you've made a mistake, you realize that you have made a mistake, that this isn't supposed to be. This was a mistake,
Mm.
and you know
Yeah.
truly that this is a mistake. That
Yeah.
early stage, you end it and find your happiness, find
Mm-hmm.
your peace. If you have
Mm.
done everything on yourself, you know the problem is not coming from you, but this person has a fault and the person is not ready to change. You don't waste your time.
Yeah.
You can still find
Exactly.
love and happiness.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but people make that mistake. Yeah, be yourself. You're very correct. People make that mistake
Mm.
of using children as a cocoon, and they're just busy, looking after the children and forget about each other, not knowing that eventually it's going to be how you both of you started. That's how both of you will end. Just like, for example, I'm using myself as an example. If I have used my children when they were here to be, just concentrate on them and ignore my husband. Now they've been gone for how many years now? It's just two of us. So that's when we start having problem. But now we knew that at that time we made time for each other, and not solely on the children, because these children, they will come and go. And
They
I
will.
know some of them, the video I'm doing that is coming up tomorrow is about will. I know families who are killing themselves now, destroying themselves now because of will that their parents left behind. That's what they're interested in, not in your how you are. And if you pass away, they'll just they'll move on, and they will go to the will and see what you have left behind for them, and then start fighting over that. So that's why, husband and
Yeah.
wife, we have to look after ourselves and do what we got to do. Yes, they are our children. We love them to bits, but as soon as they get to adult age, they have their own lives to live. They only check on you. Those of them who want to check on you, you know, and
Some may be too busy to even check.
That's the
Some
thing.
may
Some of
just
them are
care
too
once in
busy
a
to
while because
care.
they have other things going on in their
So,
lives.
yeah. So why will you commit your whole life on them and ignore each other when it's going to be two of you left at the end of it? Some of them are not interested. I see some of these children here. I don't know whether it's in this diaspora or is this happening in Nigeria as well. Some children don't care. Honestly, and I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about our people. Some of those children, when you see them, they don't even care at all. They don't want to know. And parents are here lamenting and not being unhappy. But at the same time, I blame some of those parents because when you leave your children and you're looking after money, they don't know where they are. You come back from work, your husband is going, you are coming, this one is going, this one is coming. Both of you don't even have that relationship of husband and wife.
There
And
is no
you're
bond.
not
You didn't invest.
yet,
You
and
didn't
there's no
invest
bond.
anything into them.
No,
So if there
you
is, if
didn't.
you didn't invest anything into them, you are not
Yes,
expecting, and you shouldn't expect anything because
that's the thing.
parenting is bond. You have to.
That's the
What have you
thing.
invested into them? There is no
Yeah,
relationship
that's
that
why
has
some
been
of them
established
just,
between the mother
yeah,
and the child,
yeah.
or parent and children.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so please, a person cannot make you happy. It starts with you. Yeah, 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 of course. We'll have to make ourselves. Yeah, please. Anyway, I'm going to drop now because that call is going to come again very soon. But I thought I needed to come up and share this and just to say for those who are married or those who are thinking of it, and to know that it's, you don't have to get married. And if you have to, be prepared for to work together with your spouse so that both of you will be happy, because people will say, oh, I'm happy the way things are going, but inside you, you're not really happy. You're not really coping, but people pretend that they're coping because they want to front. But no, just be prepared for the hard work or remain single. There's no shame in being single. Honestly, I have a few single friends about my age group that are single and happy. You see them going on their cruises with other single ladies. They do things. It's not all about, just do what is. Obviously, marriage is lovely. Marriage is good. I've been married. I'm happily married. But some people are not happily married and they are there just unhappy. No, it's not good. It's not good. Okay, my lovely people, I'll leave you now.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And yeah.
Whoa, I always enjoy your wisdom here, and I can't get enough of it. Thank you so much for me. I appreciate you, and I know everyone in the chat equally appreciate your wisdom that you drop here all the time. Thank you so much. God bless
Thank
you,
you,
ma.
everyone. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Welcome the Cheese family. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you. Please don't forget to drop the thumbs up, okay? Yeah, okay, very true. Well said. And that is what we're saying. You see, a time where a couple are supposed to be enjoying their old age. See what's happening. 43 years marriage washed down the drain as if it never existed, as if there was nothing serious. This is supposed to be a commitment. Investing in one's life takes commitment. And these people have lived for how long? And this is how the whole thing packed up. That's why the earlier, the better. Ireti Doyle and Patrick Doyle, 19 years, children are involved. Like Ireti said, this whole thing would have ended long ago. That there was gap. Just was not really the perfect marriage they have been painting on social media. So the earlier you realize the problem in that marriage, the better. I know people change and I know people pretend to be who they are not. Yes, marriage is a lot of work. Yeah, you keep investing. Thank you. It takes a lot, but you have to do your bit. The question I am throwing out tonight is, are you really doing your best? Are you putting in your best? Are you doing your parts? In as much as we know people can pretend to be nice, but we can't pretend forever. You can pretend for a short period of time, but you can't keep up with that pretense for years. A time will come, you get tired of pretending. You get tired of living a fake life, trying to be who you are not. And the truth will surface. And when that time comes, you can no longer pretend. There is nothing you can do to hold that marriage intact. Ask yourself, are you putting in that effort? Are you doing your best as a woman to salvage your marriage? Are you doing your best to make it work? As a husband, are you being a responsible man, or you're waiting for that woman to get tired of you and say, to hell, I wasn't born to suffer? Are you being that responsible husband whose family is supposed to rely on for protection, for spiritual covering, for guidance? Are you that husband? Or you're waiting for her to get depressed and get frustrated in that marriage? We all know what is right, but sometimes we just choose not to do what is right. We pretend. Rather than do what is right, we wait for the marriage to degenerate. We wait for a lot of water to pass under the bridge, and then last minute we start trying to patch it together. If the hole created is too wide, there is nothing you can do to salvage it, because the gap is too wide. And like Ireti said, the gap between them has been there for years. It has been there. She as a wife and as a mother has been putting in all her effort in that marriage. And the jack of her husband has been trying to play around, take the marriage for granted, not knowing. Just you said God blessed you with an angel when you were mourning your wife. When you lost your first wife, this woman came into your life. I don't want to know if they've been in the relationship before the wife died. What happened is, at least after the wife passed on, they got married, started living together as a husband and wife. This same woman you found worthy enough to pray, this same woman you found worthy to live with, to get married to, gave her best, and he took the best for granted. Why don't you do the right thing early enough in marriage? Communication, it is something that we can never overemphasize. And this is one thing that is lacking in a lot of home. I hear why I say, I can't talk to him. He can't be talked to. Like, we can't communicate. What the hell? Why can't you communicate? How are you communicating? How do you communicate when you have issues? How do you resolve that problem when you have issues? Are you just pointing fingers, or do you run away and run away from communicating? Do you avoid communication? Like I said earlier on, if you don't communicate in marriage, or you cannot communicate as a person, as a single person, you are difficult to communicate with, you are difficult to talk to. Don't even get into marriage, because in marriage, there is every tendency that your spouse is going to do something that will hurt you, or they will do something that will annoy you. They will do something that will make you flare up. How do you communicate when that happens? Do you shut the door in their face, or do you try to resolve it? Do you close yourself up, or are you open for communication? It is not just coming on social media to write beautiful things about your spouse during their birthdays, anniversaries, or any celebration. You come on social media and you give the whole world the impression that your wife is the perfect wife. Behind closed doors, when it is just the two of you, how have you proven to her that she is the best woman in your life, that she is deserving of your love? Outside social media, yeah, okay, we have not mentioned some people need help. Yes. If you have issues, try and seek help early enough. And if unfortunately you get married without seeking help, please be open for help. Be open. No one is perfect. Look, we all have our weaknesses as humans. Nobody is perfect. I have mine. You have mine. But do not let your baggage become too heavy for another person. Find a way to drop some of these baggages, to empty the luggages that you're carrying about. Don't say, this is how I have been. This is how I have been. If you cannot take me the way I am, leave me. This is how God created me. No. God did not create us with so much baggage. We picked up these baggages along the line. In the course of life, we pick up a lot of baggages. So if you know that your baggages are heavy, do not force it on someone. Seek help. Get help. Go for therapy if you need to. Go for counseling. Speak to someone about it. We don't know it all. Don't live with that mindset of, this is how I've been. If you can't take me the way I am, is not going to help you. Look at your marriage, it's going to crash. We have weaknesses. Yes, we do, but we are all work in progress. We are working on our weaknesses. We know, because as human beings, the society we live in or how we grew up, it must have made us have one weakness or the other. As human beings, it is not. It is not impossible for us to have flaws. We are humans, and we have flaws. But there are certain flaws, there are certain things you should change, that you can work on, that you can change about yourself, especially before getting married. Do not walk into marriage carrying too many things. And if you can't work on it yet, you feel this is how, please, you have no business with marriage. Stay outside the doors of marriage. Let's have less of this divorce pandemic. Spare these young ones that are not married yet. Spare them this heartache. Many are wondering, should I get married? With all that is happening, I don't think marriage is for me. If this is what marriage has been reduced to, then I think I should remain single. Spare them this fear and this trauma. Let's have less of this the divorce pandemic, I call it. Don't carry your baggage and you're forcing someone to take you in with your baggage. If you can't work on it, please stay single. Stay single if you can't work on your baggage. If you can't drop some of these baggages. How we nag, unforgiving spirit, flirting, fighting, quarrelsome, anger. Please drop some of them. There are certain things we can work on. And stop saying, this is how I am. This is for young ones who are not married yet. In marriage, some of those things you see outside marriage, when you get in, you see more of it. And if you know someone has a flaw, why go into that marriage with a person? You know that you can't take this flaw from this person. You know this baggage of this person is too heavy. You can't take it. Why pretend to help carry the baggage? At the end of the day, you feel tired and you say, I can't take it anymore. And then you drop it. Check what they're coming in with. Size the baggage they're coming in with. And see if you can carry it. Don't live a pretension. Don't pretend that you can. Don't form that you're a good girl, that you're a godly girl that can help you. You are not a therapist. You are not a therapist. You can't save someone who can't be saved or who doesn't want to be saved. Some people don't want to be saved. And I am so proud of those who realize that they have weakness as human beings. They own up to it and they're working on it. That is the first step. You recognizing that you have a problem and you deciding within you to work on that problem instead of forming that this is how you are. You can't change. Look within you. Do you have a fault that needs to be addressed? Can you work on it? Honestly tell yourself, I have a problem and I want to work on it. I want to change for good. I want my marriage to work. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the honest truth. That is the only thing that can save you. It's the only thing that can make you happy. It is the only thing that can give you total freedom. Honesty to self. And for you to be honest with yourself, you have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't be honest enough with yourself. Because that is when you entertain what you shouldn't entertain. That is when you swallow what you shouldn't swallow. Look at yourself and recognize your fault as human being and agree, accept. The first step is you owning up, accepting that you have a problem. That's a challenge and it's a weakness you want to work on and you are ready to work on it. Some people know their weakness, and I say kudos to them. You know, like I said, we all have one challenges or the other. We all have our weaknesses as human beings. We are all work in progress. Nobody is perfect, and that is why sometimes God, God takes us away from people that that we're going to clash with. Your spouse may be cold, you may be hot, and that will perfectly match you two. I mean, you two can perfectly match each other. But if you're hot, you see a man who is hot, you are the hell, and you see a man who is a man who can stand in the market square and fight 10 women quarreling. You know you equally have that tendency. You say, yes, I do with that person. Tell me you're not setting yourself up for disaster. You are setting yourself up. Tell yourself the truth from the onset. Do not go in blindly because of love. Do not go in blindly because of selfish reasons or material gains. What you can get. And this is the major problem a lot of people are having. They are not telling themselves the truth. Why are they going into that marriage? It is not just love. Love is not enough for that marriage to work out. Love alone cannot make your marriage succeed. It cannot make your marriage work. You may love somebody and you have a flaw. That flaw you have that you're unwilling to work on is going to ruin that love. That weakness you have can destroy the love you have for that person. No matter how strong that love is. A man one day can get tired and say, nah, I don't want to kill myself. No matter the love, a woman can say, come on, I didn't bargain for this. I love you, but I can't take this anymore. That is why you want to pick 10 years, 20 years marriages and say, I love this person, but unfortunately, no, I can't take this. This is too much. Love is not enough. It is not enough. You have to look inward and work on certain weaknesses of yours. Recognizing your faults, owning up to it, telling yourself the truth. Marriage is beautiful. Marriage is amazing. The sweet one. But what betide you if you find yourself in a terrible marriage? It's the worst thing anyone can experience. You find yourself in an unhappy marriage. It is the worst thing anyone is going to experience. Unhappy union. Because as you pretend along the line, you know you're doing yourself injustice. This is self-hate. This is self-injustice. You are doing injustice against your own self because you are not happy. You are not happy. You are only pretending. Who are you pretending to? Who are you trying to, to give that show? Do they really care? Because you have put yourself in that competitive situation. This person's marriage is working. They are happy. So let me put up a front. Let me pretend that mine is equally happy. They do couples go, you do couples go. They do show off, you do show off. They travel, you travel. They do encore, you do encore. Just maybe working, they're happy genuinely. But yours is just living pretentious life. And at the end of the day, eventually you will get tired of living that fake pretentious life. Tell yourself the truth from the beginning. Why wait after several years? Why waste time? Why waste your life? Why waste your time? 10, 20, 30, 40 years. When you two should be enjoying old age. When you two should be loving yourself. When you should be relaxing, retiring, to be happy together. Growing old together. Taking care of each other at old age. That is when you want to start answering a divorcee. When you two should be looking after your grandchildren, playing with your grandchildren, looking forward to beautiful retirement. going on trips and enjoying the best of your life. That is when you want to call off the marriage. That is because you have been pretending. Because we're living a fake life. You've not been happy. Look at yourself again and ask yourself, are you truly happy? Am I giving in my best? Am I trying to make this marriage work? Come down from your high horse. Do the needful. Come down from your high horse. Make your marriage work. Put in your effort. Respect if there is need. Respect your spouse. Submit if you can, please. No marriage can work without love, respect, and submission, and a good communication. If you can't be talked to, you can't be advised, I'm sorry. You are only managing because a time will come, you are going to snap. Like my co-host will say, everybody have a boiling point. We all have a boiling point. We all have that limit of what we can take. So you might be dishing it. The day they dish it out to you, can you take it? Can you take other dish out to you? Can you take the same thing you've been dishing out? Respect your spouse. Love them. Value that thing which you have. And if you can't, like my mommy said, yeah, you can live a single happy life. Living the best of your life as a single person. Marriage is not a do or die. You know within you that you can't stay married. You know within you that you don't, this marriage of a thing is not for you. Please, by all means, stay single and enjoy your life. Do not bring somebody into your life and make their life miserable. Do not bring someone into your life and make their life a miserable one. You can do better living single. You can do better living independent. You can do better being yourself, living your own life without dragging another person into your complicated lifestyle. It may be good for you alone as a single person, but it may not favor you as a married person. Because no matter how much you try, they're going to get tired and realize that, wait, I can't take this. I can't continue taking this from you. I can't deal with this anymore. So what I'm saying is, husbands, wife, if you know what is good for your partner, please, the earlier you start it, the better. You are going to get used to pleasing your spouse. You will get used to taking care of your partner. You will get used to loving them. You will get used to it. And the same thing goes the other way. If you are used to treating them wrongly, you will get used to it without even having any human feelings or conscience. It is sad their marriage has crashed. Unfortunately, yeah, this is going on. Like someone said, and I have said it, this season looks like a divorce pandemic season. Is there a solution inside? Is there anything anyone can do to salvage it? Are you doing your best as a woman, as a man, as a husband? Are you doing your best? This is a take-home message. Being a carer with case, thank you so much, Queen. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Look within you and tell yourself, I want to be better. Patrick Doyle has promised how many times to be a good husband? He has made the vow. He has taken the vow over and over. I promise to be this. I promise I'm going to be this. I promise I'm going to change for the sake of our children, our family, our friends, and everyone. I promise to be a better husband. I promise, even though I'm undeserving of your love, I promise. Have you been making promises, endless promises you can't keep? Have you been saying, I will, and eventually you don't? Your spouse has a limit. They have their boiling point. They have a time when they can't take it anymore. That time will come. How many promises have you made as a man? Ask yourself, have you been keeping these promises? How many decisions have you taken as a husband? Are you doing it? Are you loving your wife? Are you respecting her? Are you taking care of her? How many times have you promised to stop drinking? How many times have you promised to stop womanizing, to stop flirting? How many times have you promised to stop hitting her, to stop speaking with her with disrespect? How many times have you promised to stop shouting on your children? How many times have you promised to stop being a tyrant in the house? When you come in, everyone takes cover. How many times have you promised to be gentle, to be that good husband and a good father? You may think that it's going to be business as usual. A time will come, your children don't want to see you. A time will come, your children don't want to come close to you. A time will come, your wife is going to say, enough, I can't take it anymore. How many times have you made a promise and failed? And as a wife, how many times have you made promises to your husband to be submissive, to love and to respect him, to stop disrespecting him, to communicate better instead of shouting on top of your voice, nagging his life out, disrespecting him in public, embarrassing him, looking down on him, locking yourself up and not relating with him, denying him your body? How many times have you promised? Are you keeping that promise? Are you keeping to your word? Is there an end to this divorce pandemic? Is there an end? It starts with you and I telling ourselves we can make it work out. We can do our best to be the best version of ourselves. If a man is good and the wife is good, of course marriage is going to work out. If a man decides that this marriage is going to work, it's going to work because he will be the best version of himself. He will always put his best foot forward for his wife. If you're selfless, caring, God-fearing, you give in your best. If you're selfish and uncaring and having this I don't care attitude, it's going to pack up eventually. Nobody is born to take pain forever. Nobody. And as for that name, before I wrap up, she has every right to keep that name because that name has given her, is the platform of which she's standing on right now. That name is something she has worked for over the years. That name is a brand she has built on. That name is attached to her income. That name is her business name. That name is what she's known with. You can't take it away from her. And for those who don't understand, you don't expect this woman to go back and start bearing Akpan or any other name. You don't expect her to drop a name she has bared, a name she has lived with for 19 years. You don't expect her to just drop it like it meant nothing. It means a lot to her. If only a man and a woman will be true to themselves. If only they can be honest and sincere to one another, marriages will work. They will work. Being a divorcee is not a problem. It is you being a better person after it. Who are you after the divorce? Do you lose yourself? Do you become terrible? Or you become better? Marriage is beautiful. It is sacred. Divorce, I'm not going to say it's ungodly. No, because if it's abusive, if you're unhappy and the marriage is full of domestic violence, by all means, walk away with your life, because there is more to life than pain, than enduring and suffering. You're not endurance. If you are not, please, if it's not working, I would advise, please, the earlier you take a step, the better. Try to end it early enough. Don't live a fake, pretentious life, pretending that the marriage is working and you stay put for 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and then eventually you say you are not doing again. May God help us. May God help us. May God help us. Thank you, everyone. This is where we draw the curtain today. I really appreciate all your love and your support. God bless every one of you. Being a carer with care, I appreciate you, man. Cornelius, thank you. Blessing, Tanya, the Cheese family, Juba Bruce, D, aka AA. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Be yourself, Dynasty. God bless you, Sister Winnie, Angelicious Kitchen, Juba Bruce, Onya Samoga, Grace Adelagan, Tyron, Faith Varieties. Thank you so much. God bless every one of you here for your love and your support throughout this live stream. Okay, let's do this again tomorrow, same time on Love Night with Spice. Sharon, I appreciate you. Okay, Sharon and Chris, Chimwa TV. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Trying to read out the names of some people. Mommy Fechi. How can I forget my mommy? Thank you so much. Oyoyo Wanyoma. Thank you. Anish Cab, Daily Dose. Thank you. The Board Files. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Again, same time, okay? And like I said, please always pray on your marriage. Pray for your marriage. Pray that it works out and do your best. If you do your best, your husband does his best, marriage is going to work out. But if you don't do your best, you leave the burden on one person. If it's one-sided, trust me, eventually your spouse will get tired and that marriage is going to crash. And that is what we don't want, okay? Thank you, everyone. God bless you. I leave you guys with this, my beautiful music, Peace of Mind. Yeah. Peace of mind. James, thank you so much for coming. James, thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You give me peace of mind. You give me peace of mind. Bye, everyone. I love you all. Thank you so much. God bless you. You're the only one for me. The world is stressing me out. You, cause I know that you're my company. Yeah, not nice, Cornelius. Okay, just a little. Will you give me money, Cornelius? Not like I'm dancing. Please give me peace of mind. You give me peace of mind. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Good night. Peace of mind.